Good morning and welcome. I'm Hunter Loddick, and on behalf of the Weasel News team, we hope you're having a lovely morning. This just in, Japan has just launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor. We now take it to Nick Gilligan, who is on the scene.
Thanks, Hunter. This is Nick Gilligan reporting live from the scene at Pearl Harbor. This morning, just before 8 a.m., hundreds of Japanese fighter planes and dive bombers attacked the American naval base at Pearl Harbor in Oahu, Hawaii. Continuous bombs have been dropping for almost 2 hours now, and the damages are devastating. So far, Japanese planes have managed to destroy 200 American naval vessels, 8 enormous battleships, and over 300 American planes. As of now, 2,000 American soldiers have been confirmed dead, and another 1,000 are wounded. Although the chemistry between Japan and the United States has been shaky for the past few years, the attack on Pearl Harbor was a complete surprise. President Franklin D. Roosevelt has already declared war on Japan, and the U.S. military has already begun to prepare. The president has plans to conversate with Winston Churchill to ask for help from the United Nations. And an overwhelming amount of war resources are beginning to pour into the United States from both Pacific and Atlantic ports. December 7th, 1941 will be a day that will go down in history, and the bombings on Pearl Harbor will be justified. Just as President Franklin D. Roosevelt said, no matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
So guys, that's some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a crazy scene down in
Very devastating.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just being there and seeing all that destruction was really sad, and hopefully this act will be justified soon.
Thanks, Nick. Now I take it to Eric as he's live at the scene in Hiroshima as the nuclear bombs have just been dropped.
Breaking news. Eric Kim live from Weasel News. An atomic bomb has just been dropped on Nagasaki, Japan, leaving another 40,000 casualties and 60,000 injured. As Japan, in the aftermath of the Hiroshima bombing, which happened 3 days ago, on August 6th at 8:15 in the morning, with 74 devastating casualties, which is 30% of the Hiroshima population. As all of the viewers of the US know, President Truman has announced a new weapon. He stated, "We may be grateful to Providence that the German atomic bomb project had failed, and that the United States and its allies had spent $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in the history and won." Paul Tibet, the pilot of the B-29 Superfortress bomber, also known as Enola Gay, named after the mother of the pilot. U.S. dropped the Little Boy, a code name for the nuclear bomb, at 8:15 that contained 141 pounds of uranium-235, with a 10 feet of length and a diameter of 28 inches, with a total mass of 9,700 pounds. Enola Gay flew 11.5 miles away before it felt the shock waves from the explosion and was not harmed or near to danger. This was a very justified move where we attacked Hiroshima and Nagasaki, not because of hate, but because they attacked us first. Where Japan had no intentions to stop, nor have peace with us ever, mixed feelings around the whole country, but this is an incident that had to be done.
So guys, startling news to hear about the nuclear bomb being dropped on the city of Hiroshima in Japan. Crazy to think that warfare with Japan has escalated to this high of a level at nuclear warfare now. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy scenes down there, but although it's pretty controversial and pretty sad down there, it's definitely an act that had to be done.
Indeed.
Definitely.
It was either drop the nuclear bomb because Japan was reluctant to surrender, or it was the invasion of Japan's homeland, was just risking lives of American soldiers.
Yeah,
Very true.
We now take it to Cade, who is live at the scene at Nagasaki, where the second nuclear bomb has just been dropped.
Thank you, Eric. I'm reporting here live from Nagasaki as the nuclear bomb has just been dropped. The United States dropped the nuclear weapons on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on August 6th and 9th, 1945, during the late stages of World War II. The two bombings killed at least 129,000 people combined, and on August 6th, the U.S. dropped a uranium gun-type bomb on Hiroshima, and American President Harry S. Truman called for Japan's surrender. 3 days later, on August 9th, the plutonium implosion-type bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Within the first 2 to 4 months of the bombings, the acute effects of the atomic bombings were the deaths of 39,000 people to 88,000 people in Nagasaki. Japan announced its surrender to the Allies on August 5th, 6 days after the bombing of Nagasaki and the Soviets' declaration of war. The United States decided to attack Japan with nuclear weapons because of the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
So guys, very controversial decision to drop the atomic bomb on Nagasaki.
Although it was controversial, it was a justified action though, because the Japanese did bomb us first.
Yeah, that is very correct.
No, they didn't.
Agree.
All right, we got breaking news. We got Hunter Laddick live at the scene at the Battle of the Bulge. We'll send it over to him.
Thanks, Nick. We are here at the site of what many are beginning to call the Battle of the Bulge. The fighting, which lasted from December 16, 1944 to January 25, 1945, was a major German offensive launched in the densely forested Ardennes region of Wallonia in Belgium, France, and Luxembourg on the Western Front. The surprise attack caught the Allied forces completely off guard. During this battle, the U.S. forces suffered its highest number of casualties than any other operation during World War II. The battle also severely depleted Germany's armored forces on the Western Front, as well as German personnel and German Luftwaffe, or the Air Force. The name the Battle of the Bulge is what the contemporary press are beginning to call the fighting, due to the bulge in German front lines on wartime news maps. It then became the most widely used name for the battle. The German attack was intended to stop the Allied forces' use of the Belgian port of Antwerp and splitting the Allied lines. This would allow Germans to trap and defeat the 4 Allied armies, which then forced the Western Allies to negotiate a peace treaty in the Axis powers. Adolf Hitler then believed he could fully concentrate on the Soviets on the Eastern Front. The attack was secretly planned by the German forces with minimal radio traffic and movements of the troops under cover of darkness. The Allies even intercepted German communications indicating a substantial German offensive, but were not acted upon in time. Alright, well guys, it sounds like it's pretty treacherous over there on the Western Front. Although our forces held up pretty strong, we did ended up losing a lot of American lives, which is pretty sad.
Very sad.
But within the process of the battle, we did put a good dent into the German Air Force, which is a good upside. As well as German heavy machinery and German personnel. But although we did accomplish that, we did suffer the most U.S. casualties than any other battle in World War II.
Oh, very devastating.
Tragic. Alright guys, in conclusion, World War II was a product of the Axis powers' thirst for nationalism, militarism, and imperialism, but luckily the Allied forces were able to defend all their land and put a stop to it. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, although a lot of lives were lost, a lot of blood was shed, we're glad that it's over now.
On behalf of the Weasel News team, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.